All right, the next thing we have to do is find exact trig function values with reference angles of 30, 45, or 60. Recall your sign rules for the trig functions all students take calculus when you find the values. All right, so let's look at example 2. Find the 6 trig function values for 225 degrees. So the first thing we need to do, I wish we had a little bit more room, but the first thing is we're going to find the reference angle. It's kind of big, yeah. Well, it's not that bad. Yes, there's a lot of different things that we've done all getting put together. So the reference angle, we just learned how to do that. So if it's 225 degrees, I'd be in the third quadrant, right? Somewhere over here, and that would be 225. So how would I figure out this angle right here? Minus 180, right? So I do 225 minus the 180. So my reference angle is 45 degrees.
Why do you subtract the 180? It's like 2 full rotations.
No, it's because you always want the angle between the terminal side, wherever that lands, and the x-axis. So that's why sometimes like we took it away from 360, or we took it away. It depends where you land. Okay, so now I know my reference angle is 45. Now, they want the 6 trig functions for this. You know that from your chart right here. So, here's my 6 trig functions for 45. Right? I have them right in this chart, so I am just going to jot them down quickly. I know it's a little annoying, but what are you going to do? So, so step 2, find 6 values of reference angle, which I already have. So find 6 values of the reference angle. So sine, cosine, tangent, then I'll have cosecant, secant, and cotangent. Okay, and these are all of 45. So sine is root 2 over 2. Cosine is also root 2 over 2. Tangent is 1. Cosecant 1. Secant root 2. And cotangent root 2. However, this is for a 45 degree angle. I don't really have a 45 degree angle because I'm not in the first quadrant. I'm over here in the third quadrant. So now all I have to do, my last step, is I'm going to have to adjust the signs. So some of them are going to change from positive to negative. Okay? So my last step is just to adjust the signs. And remember how we did that, if you recall, adjust the signs. So in quadrant 1, everybody, all signs are positive. Students stood for sine and its reciprocal, cosecant. All students take, T stood for tangent and its reciprocal, cotangent, calculus, cosine, and secant. That's who's positive in each quadrant. So if I look at the quadrant I'm in, it's the third. So the only ones that are going to be positive are tangent and cotangent. Make everybody else negative. So I just added negative signs to everybody else except the tangent and cotangent. So it's not particularly difficult. There's just a lot of pieces that you got to remember to do. Find your reference angle. Then you'll need the 6 trig values, which we already have, and then just adjust the signs according to where you are. Does that seem okay? All right. I think, is there another one? Yeah, okay. So let's try, let's see if we can figure out, oh, they just want one of them. Did they not make you do a whole nother set? I'm going to do one. I know in A it's only asking you for the sine, but let's pretend they wanted everything for negative 150. Let's just pretend. So we'll be overachievers, just so we have two examples where you did everything out. Okay, so negative 150. First of all, let's find our reference angle. Negative 150. What quadrant would I be in?
Another negative one.
Yeah, negative 1. So here's negative 90. That would be negative 180, so I'm somewhere in here. So that would get me a negative 150. Remember, my reference angle is this right here, from that terminal side to the x-axis.
So, doesn't negative 150 add 360?
You can.
It's
30 is my reference angle, right? 30. Whether you're using the 210 or the negative 150, doesn't matter. So my reference angle is 30. So I have on my chart all the values for 30. So I'm going to jot them down again. Sine, cosine, tangent, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. All right, and I'm looking at 30 degrees. So it was a half. Cosine was root 3 over 2. Tangent, root 3 over 3. Cosecant was for 30, 2. Oh yeah, sorry. Secant is 2 root 3 over 3. And cotangent, root 3. And then we're almost done. All we have to do is adjust the signs based on the quadrant we're in. So we just so happen to be in the third quadrant again. We just did a third quadrant one. Who's positive in the third quadrant? Tangent and cotangent. Everybody else is negative, so I just stick negatives in front of all of those. Now, in this written problem, it only wanted you to find the sine, so you only had to do that one. But no matter which one they ask you for, I just wanted you to have another good example in your notes of how to find any of them. Okay, so now if we look at one like B, for example, we're not going to find all 6. They just want the cotangent of 780. So first, we're going to find the coterminal angle. So 780, what is it?
I think 60.
I think you're right. So I'm really dealing with the cotangent of 60. And I don't even need a reference angle there because it's something less than 90, right? So if you draw this angle, for example, 60 degrees is right there. So it's its own reference angle. 60 degrees, the reference angle is 60. But it's helpful to remember that I'm in quadrant 1. So I want the cotangent of 60, which I have from my chart, is root 3 over 3. Do I need to change the sign? No. Everybody's positive in the first quadrant. We might as well do C because that's 780 also. I already know, since this one was just 780, I already know that it's 60. So I just want the cosine of 60, which is a half. And I don't need to adjust the sign because I just did this problem and I know I'm in quadrant 1. Try D without me telling you what to do and see if you can get the correct answer for D. Yep, sure. Did you get an answer?
Yeah.
What is it?
Negative, 3, whatever.
Square root, negative square root of 3?
Yeah.
That is the correct answer. So, let's just go over how we get there. If you're not going to deal with negative 930, you're going to find its coterminal angle. I got that to be 150. So, if you sketch a 150-degree angle, you're going to be here in the second quadrant. So, that's 150. I do need its reference angle, though, which is 30. So, I'm going to go ahead and find the cotangent of 30 on my chart. Cotangent of 30 just so happens to be the square root of 3. And then all I have to do is see if I have to adjust the sign. Is it a positive or a negative square root of 3? And remember, it's all students take calc. So in the second quadrant where I am, sine and cosecant will be negative. I'm sorry, they're positive, everybody else is negative. So this is a cotangent, it's going to be negative. Good job.